What is up, y'all? Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. We, of course, are the Alternates. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me, as always, is everyone's favorite cone on the basketball floor, Clayton Stevens.
Fair. Hello.
Hey,
Fair.
you told me you don't play defense in
I don't play
pickup.
defense.
We've got a really great show lined up for you today. Before we jump into it, just want to take a quick second, ask you all to subscribe to the show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. If you have not done so yet already, go ahead, like the video, leave us a comment, drop us a rating and review if that option is available, and most importantly, share the show. It helps people just like you find us. Let's get all the alts together. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do so by emailing us, sending in your comments and questions to thealternatehoop@gmail.com, and go ahead. You're already scrolling on it. I can tell I've lost your interest. Look up the Alternates NBA. That's at the Alternates NBA on TikTok, and give us a follow. Clayton, how the hell are you?
I'm great. We are here in the conference finals.
It's here.
It's unbelievable. Been an amazing season. The conference finals, it's quite an accomplishment for these teams. I think a lot of times fans underappreciate how much it means to the fan bases of the teams that get there.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're a team who's out of it right now, like our team, the Clippers, sometimes you forget that making it to the conference finals, it's amazing. It's a huge accomplishment.
As a Clippers fan, I cried last year when they made the conference final.
Yes. So congratulations to these teams.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast watching it. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I crazy couple games that we're going to get into. The one thing that really dawned on me during yesterday's game, how wild is it that the 1 and 2 seeds in the West are not in the conference finals?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean,
when was the last time we had a 3-4 matchup to decide who's representing the West in the finals?
I don't know. We should have looked it up before. Someone tell us. Tell us.
Please, yeah, if you know, please drop it in the comments. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I can't hold back anymore.
Let's talk basketball.
Let's get into headliners here. So, as you said, the conference finals have begun. Game 1 is in the books for both conferences.
Yep.
Let's start in the East. That was the first game where the Miami Heat defend home court advantage in Game 1. They beat the Celtics 118-107. Very interesting game. Both teams missing key players.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry out for the Heat, still dealing with a hamstring issue. The Celtics didn't have Al Horford, who apparently tested positive for COVID the morning of the game.
Right.
So he entered health and safety protocol, and then Marcus Smart out in that game with a foot sprain that he had suffered in Game 7, I believe. So both missing key guys. The defense in this game was absolutely nuts. This is exactly what I wanted from this series. We were looking at two of the best defensive teams, and God damn it if we didn't get it. Total in this game, 20 blocks, 18 steals.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane defensive game. And it wasn't really, when I'm talking about the total blocks and steals, not that lopsided, if we're being honest. It was pretty well balanced there. But as we do here in the playoffs, we're going to do stud, dud, flood. Little different since we've only got 2 series going on. So we are going to pick a stud, a dud, and a flood from each series. What is the stud in this series after Game 1?
Beginning of the show here, let's not overthink it. The stud for this one was Jimmy Butler. He was absolutely incredible. Goes for 41 points on 0 3-pointers. He took 2, but didn't make one.
Good God.
Goes 17 of 18 from the free throw line and fills up the stat sheet in other ways as well. Has 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 4 steals.
Yeah, pretty good.
The unlimited stat line here from Jimmy Butler. He was absolutely incredible. He was the best player on the floor in this game.
By far.
Was just, like I said, 17 of 18 from the free throw line, getting to the free throw line with no problem, just bullying people.
Yeah.
And, rightfully getting to the free throw line, not doing any of the, Chris Paul, James Harden rip through. It was like, I'm getting in the paint, somebody stop me. Pretty amazing. The rest of the Heat as well were, playing like studs at times. Tyler Hero was really good. Strus and Vincent were really good as well. Our newfound love of these guards that are just incredible. The Heat were great.
Those two guys, Strus and Vincent. Look, Tyler Hero's your sixth man. He gave 18 off the bench. That is what he did all season. Credit to him for giving them life in the first quarter because Miami was struggling in that first quarter. Hero comes off the bench. He was immediate energy for them. 18 points. That is why he won his award. That is what he does. That's what you expect. But I'm glad that you brought up Strus and Vincent because those two guys, we've talked, like as you said, we've talked about them kind of ramping up and going, oh my God, they combined for 28 points, but that's not what really got me about them in this game. It wasn't the points. It was the confidence that they had. These guys, both of them, out there playing with this just, I almost don't want to say hubris because that I feel like that's more of a pejorative, but it was just this swag, I guess, this aura that they both felt like they were the second best player on the floor.
Yeah, they were playing like they're all-stars and that this was just what they do. I actually texted you right after. There was a great play where Jimmy got a steal. He kicks it out to Strus in the open court and he like dunks it and hangs on the rim before timeout. It was like, wow.
Unreal.
Like these guys are playing with serious confidence right now. Yeah, it was incredible.
Love it.
What about the dud in this game?
Yeah, so there definitely was a couple options for dud here, if we're being honest. But the one for me was Grant Williams. We've been talking about the milk carton. There's a new face on the milk carton today, and it is Grant Williams. 2 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 2 from deep. It's not even that he was inefficient at scoring. He just wasn't getting shots. He could not get to his spots. They swallowed him up. He had a massive game 7 against Milwaukee to close out that series. And to me, it really felt like Miami saw that, said, okay, everybody in Boston played great. And it was a very convincing win. However, without that Grant Williams performance, I'm not sure what the chances were for Boston. I think it could have been a different game. He was huge for them. Miami looked at that and said, no.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen with us. And they put a lot of focus on him. They swallowed him.
Right. Yeah. We've been talking about him as the bellwether for this team, right? When he plays well, they're really tough to beat. When he doesn't play well, they seem beatable at times.
Yeah. And he was non-existent in this game. But enough about that. I want to just open the floods. Where is the flood going in this game 1?
I'm going to start here by opening the floodgates on the Celtics guard play.
Oof, yeah.
Because here's where I worry for them. 1, Marcus Smart sustained an injury. We don't know maybe he'll be back for game 2. I think they're listing him as probable, but we don't know what he's going to look like coming back. We know now that Derek White is going to miss the next game with the birth of his child.
Yeah.
So that puts them down 2 of their most important guards. They ended up having to go to a lot of Peyton Pritchard and putting in Aaron Nesmith out of nowhere and just trying him out. So I'm just worried about their guard rotation. And with Strus and Vincent playing this well, and even Oladipo and Hero, it just feels like at that position, the Celtics are at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so I worry about the Celtics guards and just their depth overall because of their guard situation right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I get it. And it's the flood. It's the overreaction.
Yeah.
I fully understand that. I'm not as worried about the guards here. I mean, Pritchard was actually great shooting in this game.
But
His first half was incredible, but he got hunted on defense.
Yeah.
It was open season on Peyton Pritchard anytime the ball came up the floor for Miami and he was out there. But he ended the game with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Solid.
It's really good, actually.
And I'm actually glad that you brought up Nesmith. That is a name that I think that we should talk about a little bit here because I'm giving the Brian's bouquet of the game. And I've actually got 2 of them here. And one of them goes to Nesmith. The other one, it's going to Daniel Tice. Austin was missing 2 starters, 2 of their key players.
Yeah.
And for everything that Pritchard did offensively to make up points. As we said, he got hunted on defense. It was the exact opposite for Neesmith, a guy that I'm sure a lot of people at home when he got put in the game were going, isn't that the guy that invented basketball? Like, who is this guy coming out here? And he 0 points, not great offensively, but he had 4 blocks in this game.
Yeah.
He made up for what they were missing in Marcus Smart's defense. And then Daniel Tice having to take on a bigger role with Horford out, I actually thought was solid in what he did. You're obviously not getting the production that you get from 2 starters out of these guys, but in terms of role players that were asked to do more, I thought that they were incredible. I mean, Tice had one of the best plays in the game when he blocked Adebayo at the rim. I got out of my seat. That was the one time in the game that I yelled because it was such a highlight block.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was that block and then the Jimmy Butler 3 block that he bounced that thing into Alabama. It was nuts. But yeah, those 2 guys were great. The guards, though, not that concerned. Pritchard obviously had a great shooting night. Marcus Smart's already been updated to or upgraded to probable for game 2, so it looks like he's coming back. Derek White, I'm assuming, is going to miss a game for the birth of his child, but I believe in basketball superstitions, and if there is one that I full-heartedly believe, it's the baby bump. Watch out, Heat. If Derek White comes back after the birth of his child in game 3, the Celtics have Steph Curry. That is what we're like. This is what we've seen it before, time and time again. When a guy gets a baby, he comes back absolutely rejuvenated. I can't wait to see that. My flood is actually Jaylen Brown.
Oh.
That might, I know it's probably a little surprising to some people. If you just look at the box score of this game, you're going, Brian, what the hell are you talking about? Jaylen Brown had a solid game. He had 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. But my eyes are telling me something different. Watching it, I'm getting a different story. I'm starting to get worried about him a little bit. In game 1, there was no confidence from him at the free throw line. He shot 60%, well below his average. He kind of was just doing his own thing. When the ball got in his hands, he was just looking for his own shot and got a little too ISO happy for my liking.
Right.
Wasn't really making anybody else better on the floor, looking for a better shot. And speaking of the milk carton, we got Grant Williams on one side, flip it over. The other side is Jaylen Brown's handles. I don't know what is happening. I alluded to it an episode or 2 ago, or I joked about him putting butter on his hands. I'm looking at a 3 or 4 game sample size now where when he's dribbling, I am nervous. I am nervous when he's handling the ball, which is weird because Jaylen Brown is not a guy that usually makes me pucker up when he's got the ball in his hands. But yeah, the eyes are telling me something's up and he really needs to turn this around.
So I appreciate you saying that because I think that is true. And I think that led to, like we were saying, all the steals and blocks in this game was all of that stuff. But as the resident Boston believer here, right? You've been on the Celtics for a long time. I want to get the Tommy Heinsohn, Bill Simmons, Homer. Are you concerned about the Boston Celtics? I want to hear from the Homer side.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are you concerned about that?
That's totally fair. Am I concerned? Fuck no, I'm not concerned. Okay, look, here's why.
Yeah.
We talk about the playoffs coming down to your best players. The regular season, it's all about production from role players, your depth. When you get to the playoffs, this is when the guys with the highest payroll earn those bucks. Jason Tatum is Boston's best player. As okay or as worried as I might be about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum was so good for most of this game. 29 points. I am considering the defense that Miami has. Putting up 30 points on that defense is no small feat.
Yeah.
Along with that, he had 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. 4 steals. I don't know what happened, but as soon as the postseason hit, Jason Tatum became maybe the best perimeter defender in the NBA. And he has not turned it down. He's been so good. He struggled from deep, though. 2 of 9 from deep. That's not Jason Tatum. That's an off shooting night. I'm not taking away credit from Miami's defense because they were fantastic. Like I said, that block that Jimmy Butler had at the 3-point line, that was on Jason Tatum. That was a Jason Tatum 3. So he definitely struggled there. I expect him to get better shots, to hit his shots. Time Lord stepped up. They removed his minutes restrictions. He played a lot more, obviously with Horford out. And that first half from Time Lord, he ate Bam Adebayo for lunch. He looked so good in his increased minutes. And speaking of that first half, that was Boston's game. Boston owned this first half. They went into the half leading 62-54. Boston was really good. I think what we ended up seeing was Boston running out of gas. They just played a game 7 against probably the best player in the NBA, the defending champs. That is going to be emotionally and physically taxing to have to switch gears to a new series with a pretty quick turnaround. I think it's tough. And I think, being shorthanded, coming off a 7, they ran out of gas, and nothing showed that more than quarter 3. That was the game. The game was the third quarter. The Heat outscored Boston in the third quarter 39-14.
Oof.
That was it. And I looked at it and I said, that's the worst quarter of basketball the Celtics have played this entire playoffs. It's actually more than that. Tim Bontemps at ESPN wrote this incredible article breaking it down, and there were a couple things in there that I was just like, I cannot believe this is how bad it was. So in that third quarter, they went over 7 minutes without scoring a point. They had a scoring drought that lasted longer than 7 minutes. The last time they had a scoring drought, it was 7 minutes long. It was against Detroit, game 3 of the semis in 2002. It's been 20 years since they had a scoring drought that bad.
Yeah.
They went 2 of 15 from the floor in the third quarter. Worst shooting quarter for Boston in the last 4 seasons.
Wow.
Outside of that third quarter, they won this game. They in quarters 1, 2, and 4, they outscored Miami 93-79. I think that you take that as rough game, rough night, got tired, get rest, get a couple guys back. You should feel so confident going into the rest of this series, because we're talking about a historically bad third quarter that decided this game. I think if you're Boston, you feel extremely confident moving forward.
All right. I like that. That's interesting. Okay, let's move on to the Western Conference.
Yeah, so the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco, put on an absolute clinic against the Dallas Mavericks. 112-97. The Warriors took the horse out of the stable, brought him around to the back of the barn, and put him out of his misery, old Yeller style. It was crazy. We got to pick a stud here.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the stud in this one. And I'm sorry, I know this might be a little too specific. I might be, going into the micro a bit much here, but my stud is the Golden State Warriors.
Oh.
The entire team, and there's a reason why I'm saying this.
Okay.
There wasn't a singular performance that took this game over. This was one of the most complete team effort wins I have seen in a very long time. This was peak Warriors basketball. They've always had the strength in numbers, all that's been their mantra, for the last 5 or 6 seasons, and it was on full display in this game. All 5 starters scored in double digits. The lead scorer was Steph with 21, but that's how good they were. Was they only needed 21 from Steph in this game.
Right.
21 in a blowout is what they needed. There was no, 40-point, 50-point, insane shooting night from Steph. He only contributed 21. And then really there were 3 bench guys that they played. They played everybody, but there was like 5 minutes of garbage time. And even of the 3 bench players I'm talking about, Damian Lee only played, I think, 12 minutes, and most of that was garbage time. But of the 3 guys that came off the bench, 2 of them scored in double digits. Everybody did everything. All 5 starters had at least 1 block. Every single person that started for the Warriors had at least 1 block. Of the 8 main rotation players in this game, basically anybody who played more than 5 minutes in this game, only 1 had less than 5 rebounds, which was Jordan Poole, and only 2 had less than 3 assists, which was Porter and Lee. You look at the box score, nobody stands out. It was everybody doing everything. The Warriors, they started Looney like we speculated they might, and we're talking about the guy who had the 22 rebound game, or like he's going to be the guy to try to, can he repeat that? They killed Dallas on the glass. They won this battle 51-39 with rebounds.
Wow.
And it was not led by Mr. 22, Kevon Looney. It was Steph Curry with 12. What?
That's incredible.
What?
That's incredible.
And then give me the dud, because I could go on about how good the Warriors were in this game.
Before I go to the dud, I think we got to mention Andrew Wiggins was excellent for the Warriors in this game.
Yeah.
Defensively, he was all over the place. He was switching. He was just all over the place defensively. And then offensively, he was the best version of Wiggins that we ask for all the time, which is when you're open, go ahead and shoot it. And he had a really quick trigger, and he was just making quick decisions and doing good stuff with the basketball. This is the Andrew Wiggins that Warriors fans beg for him to be at all times.
The All-Star is back.
Yes.
Maple Jordan laced him up.
For one night, All-Star Wiggins had returned.
Absolutely.
So on the other side of the coin, though, the dud, I gotta go with the Mavericks 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
It was a disaster from the 3-point line for the Mavericks. They go 11 of 48 from deep, and that doesn't even really tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Luka and Bullock both go 3 for 10 from deep. I mean, you just go up and down the whole. Kleber 1 for 4. Bertans 0 for 4. I mean, It was Finney Smith 1 for 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you go up and down the box score here. Nobody on this team could make a 3. And especially in the first half, I thought they had a ton of really good 3-point looks. There was one possession specifically, I think in the first quarter, where they had 3 offensive rebounds, 4 shots at a 3. All of them were wide open and none of them went down.
Yeah.
It was just a really disappointing performance from all of the shooters in Dallas. So that to me was just the biggest dud of the game, and it felt like that bled over into Dallas's rest of their game. Mm-hmm. They started off the game playing hard and the shots weren't going down, and as the game continued and the shots continued to not fall, their defense started to fall off. Everything started to fall off. Dinwiddie started to go into hero mode, actually ended up with an okay game, played well, but the lead was so big by that point, it just felt like they had nothing left to give, and the Mavericks just kind of rolled over and ended up losing this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That was the biggest dud of this game.
Yeah.
They attempted 48 3-pointers in this game to Golden State's 29. This is their game. And to not hit, brutal night for the Mavs from deep.
Yeah. What about the flood? Was there anything that you want to overreact to?
I want to overreact. You bet your ass I do. I want to overreact to Golden State's defense on Luka. It was awesome. They were so ready for this. I saw a few things. It really looked like the Warriors did their homework going into this game in this series. I think that they looked at the last couple years of the Clippers playing Luka and the Mavs in the playoffs and what they started to figure out defensively on Luka. I also think that they looked at the last series and what Phoenix wasn't doing and what they were trying and failing at with Luka. Look, Luka is transcendent. He is a superstar. We know this. He's been showing it since he got in the league, and he really solidified it in this year's playoffs. He's so good. Guys like him, Giannis, LeBron, Steph, these guys that are transcendent, you're never going to shut them down. Your best hope is to kind of minimize what they can do and figure out, you really have to make a decision. Do we try everything to shut him down, or do we let that guy kind of cook? There's all these decisions that you have to make. And I think what the Warriors did was brilliant defensively. A lot of credit goes to Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins took the assignment, and I think he did a fantastic job on it. And Luka was great. He was still good. He had 27 and 4 in this game. That's not a bad, night for your best player. The best defenses will never shut down a superstar, but what they will do is downgrade them. You'll take them from superstar to star, or from star to great player. And that's exactly what the Warriors did here. They never let him get comfortable. They never did anything long enough for him to adjust to it. They had Wiggins on him, but they didn't throw hard doubles. There was a lot of just kind of show and recover blitzes.
Yeah.
And as good as Wiggins was, the help defense from the Warriors was fantastic. Somebody would come in real quick for help on a drive, try to poke the ball, and then recover back to their guy, because we all know that Luka can pass out of doubles. So they never overcommitted to anything. And I don't think it allowed Luka to really find a rhythm or make a solid adjustment to what he was doing. And if they figured this out in game 1, scary hours for the Mavericks. It took the Clippers 2 games last season, 3 games last season to figure it out. Phoenix really struggled with trying to figure it out and ultimately didn't get it done. You came in with one of the best defensive plans that we've seen against Luka Doncic ever in game 1. Huge advantage for Golden State. But as the Brun son, the believer of the Mavs, how do they bounce back from this? Is there a chance? What do they do? Sell me on the Mavs in this series.
I got 2 things for you here quickly. Number 1 is exactly what you just said. Golden State, yes, they had a really good defensive plan for him. But the thing with Luka is he's so smart. You know he's going to go back and look at the tape. And one thing that I thought that the Warriors did really well was they played his passing lanes really well. Every time he went to the bucket and they doubled him, they were on the right shooters in the right places for where he likes to throw the ball. And I think that he's going to adjust to that. He's going to find different ways to get these guys open and to adjust to the ways that they were guarding him overall, like you said with Wiggins. And then second of all, it's like I said before, the 3-point shooting. They actually had a ton of wide open threes that they missed. As if these guys come back up to their averages and Luka can adjust to what the Warriors threw at him early in the series, I'm really not worried about the Mavericks at all. I think the 3-point shooting is going to come back around. I think Luka's going to find new ways to get these guys open. And if they keep getting up these attempts, I'm really not worried about the Mavericks moving forward.
Okay, yeah, I love the confidence. We'll see how this plays out. Last thing here in headliners before we move on. Something took place that I know is very near and dear to not only the basketball sicko in you, but the gambling sicko in you. And that is the draft lottery.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Walk me through the draft lottery here. What happened?
So last night we had the draft lottery, which really it's just choosing who's going to be in the lottery here based on your record for the season, goes in order, but there are chances to move up and down, like you said. So there is a sort of gambling element to this, right? So it's really fun. So let's just go through who the top 10 are. We got the Wizards land the 10th pick in the draft. The Spurs get 9, Pelicans 8, Trailblazers 7, the Pacers 6, the Pistons get the 5th pick, dropping a little bit for them from where they were. The Kings move up to 4, Rockets 3, the Thunder get the 2nd pick in the draft along with the 12th pick, and the Orlando motherfucking Magic get the number 1 pick in the draft. Brian, how are you feeling? The Orlando Magic, we did it.
Let's go, baby.
It was all worth it.
I want to thank everybody that helped me out on this journey. We all put in work. We all worked super hard. We all take credit for this. It was a tough, long road here. But thank you all so much for the support. The long hours that I put into making this happen, paying off. This is just an incredible moment, and I truly want to thank everybody. Hi, Mom. Thank you so much. That's the plan. Me. Okay, I gotta go. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so a great night for the Orlando Magic. Obviously, they're a winner here, but who are the losers in this draft? That's the first thing I want to ask you. In this top 10 here, do you have anybody as a loser here?
Yeah, I think a couple teams ended up in a rougher spot than they wanted to be. 2 specifically. 1, the Trailblazers at 7, and 2, the Pacers at 6. And I have them as losers for kind of opposite reasons. Start with the Trailblazers. The Blazers seemingly are keeping Dame, and they want to build around him. I don't think they had any interest in building around him using this draft. I don't think that they're, hey, let's take Dame in his prime and put a young guy that we can build up next to him. I think they wanted a high draft pick as an asset to put together and get somebody else to bring in with Dame, put together a playoff, contending team around Dame. At 7, you lose a lot of value on that pick. Doesn't have quite the luster that a top 3 or 4 pick has.
Yeah.
And it puts them in a rough spot in this offseason in terms of how they're going to move forward. And they know it. You could see it all over Damian Lillard's face when that number 7 got called and it was the Blazers.
Yeah, and with that moment, also seeing the little smile on Sabonis's face was must-see TV. Fantastic.
And then the Pacers is the other one, because while we saw the Blazers kind of soft blow up to reset around a star, the Pacers are trying to rebuild. They have Tyrese Halliburton. I think Turner's probably on the move sometime in the next year.
Yeah.
And as good as Halliburton is, he's not really your foundational star. Halliburton is a great complement to a star. Maybe, I think ceiling is like a number 2 guy,
right.
at best. They really, really wanted to get at the very top of this thing so that they could try to grab their cornerstone guy. Probably not going to happen at 6, and this makes it really tough for them because they are not a destination team. They already got rid of some of their best assets. There aren't many moves that they can make. They might have to wait another season and tank another one and try to get higher up to find that cornerstone player that they're looking for.
Yeah, understood. I will say for the Pacers, they've done a really good job finding good players lower in the draft generally. They haven't even had a pick as high as 6 in quite some time. So I'm high.
And how did that work out for them? They just blew it up.
Right. No, I understand. But I'm high on their ability to find someone good. But you're right. At 6, you're probably not finding a superstar type player.
Yeah.
I will throw one more loser in there, and that's the Wizards landing the 10th pick.
Yeah.
Of course, they weren't slated to get a top 5 pick, but anything's possible. If they had been able to move up there, it would have been really big for them. At 10, you're probably just getting another Corey Kispert, and that's just an unfortunate outcome for them here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you are the resident Orlando Magic fan.
I am.
They have, let me say it again, the number 1 pick in the draft. A lot of speculation, but it sounds like it's either going to be Gonzaga's Chet Holmgren or Auburn's Jabari Smith for the number 1 pick here. I know you're not a big college basketball guy, but do you have a strong opinion one way or the other about where you think the Magic should go with this pick?
Yeah, so like you said, I don't watch a lot of college. I'm not great at draft prospects, but with the Magic in, read a little bit here, and based off of what I've read and talked to people about, you're right, those are the 2 guys that they're targeting. Give me Jabari Smith. From what I know, I think that he is the better pick for Orlando. He is the sure thing. Whereas Chet Holmgren is so high up on everybody's draft boards because of his potential.
Right.
You're the Orlando Magic. You cannot take risks on potential. I just don't think that they are a franchise in a position to do that. And Jabari Smith, he's 6'10". He's got like 250 pounds on Chet Holmgren. Like, he's a great shooter. 40% he shot in college. They need that. They need a good big wing like that. He's and even his downsides, I think, work better with what Orlando has, because he's, from what I know, not great with the ball in his hands as a handler and all of that, which is fine. They don't need somebody to be that guy. They've got Jalen Suggs. They've got, I think he fits what they're trying to build better. Again, from everything that I understand about Jabari Smith, he is kind of the perfect fit for Orlando here. And with the size that he has, I think, and this might be crazy, they have the potential long-term to build a better version of what the Cleveland Cavaliers are trying to do this last season.
Interesting.
Long, skilled guys that are mobile and athletic. And I think Jabari Smith helps them reach that.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. It's very interesting. Jabari, you didn't even mention it, is a good defender.
Yeah.
And so I do like him in that position.
And that makes Jonathan Isaac expendable, which I love.
I think that is a strong possibility for either Chet or Jabari that Isaac may be the odd man out here because it looks like they're probably going to go with a 4 here. I think Chet's a 4. We'll see moving forward. Probably gives OKC the man that they want in Chet Holmgren too, with the huge upside of him. Lots of draft stuff to come. Very interesting. But
absolutely.
Huge night for the Orlando Magic. Huge.
Love it. Love it. I would rather have Magic than be a wizard. Because what is a wizard without magic? Just a guy in a robe.
Just a guy in a robe.
Okay, let's get out of here. Let's have some fun now. Let's play a couple games, starting with 3-pack.
Okay. I have a quick fun 3-pack here.
Right.
More of in the trivia type of one here.
Okay.
And it's a conference finals themed 3-pack here. I have 3 facts for you about the conference finals. You got to sniff out which one is the lie.
All right.
Okay. Let's start here with the winners of the conference finals.
All right.
First fact. The Los Angeles Lakers have won the most conference titles with 19. They've also made 23 appearances in the conference finals, more than any other team. The Boston Celtics have won 9 conference titles, the second most of any team.
Okay.
Second fact, starting this season, the NBA has implemented new trophies for the conference finals. The Eastern Conference champion will receive the Bob Cousy Trophy, named after the legendary Celtics player, while the Western Conference Finals champion will receive the Oscar Robertson Trophy, named after the legendary Milwaukee Bucks player.
Okay.
And my third fact here, Pat Riley has the most conference finals appearances as a coach in NBA history with 12. The second most is Greg Popovich with 10. Riley's teams went 40-25 in the games played, while Pop's record sits currently at 27-22.
All right. Okay.
Which of those 3 is the lie?
So I'll start with the Pat Riley one. I believe that one's true.
Okay.
Pat Riley is one of the greatest ever. Was it as head coach or just as a coach?
Head coach.
Okay, as a head coach. He was there for the Lakers dynasty. He was there with, the Heat and their titles.
The Knicks.
The Knicks, yeah. Like that one I know is true. I fully believe that one. The next one above that, the new trophies. I get a little confused here because there have been so many new trophies and awards.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember if I'm getting this confused with, because they're doing like a double MVP trophy now too, I believe.
Yeah, so this is not part of this, but there are also conference finals MVP trophies that will be given out this season. It's
conference finals, and it's like the Magic Bird trophy, or
that's right. So the Larry Bird trophy will
be
be given to the Eastern one, and the Magic Johnson trophy will be given to the Western Conference MVP. That's right.
Okay, and then the other one, Lakers have won the most conference titles with 19. They've also made 23 appearances in the conference finals, more than any other team. I lean towards number 1 being the lie here, being the fib. The only thing that gives me pause here is the Boston Celtics won 9 conference titles. I don't know if this is like a kind of like, well, technically because the conferences didn't exist or whatever, because Bill Russell alone has 11 rings. Like the Lakers and Celtics are tied for the most titles.
Yeah.
Which means they're about neck and neck with finals appearances. The Lakers had longer kind of droughts, I believe. I think one's the lie, because 9 conference titles for the Celtics feels wrong to me.
Well, you're wrong.
Wow.
That one is right. The trophies are also right. I thought I might throw you off with that one because Oscar Robertson being named for the Western Conference one for the Milwaukee Bucks. But when Oscar Robertson played for the Bucks, they were in the Western Conference.
Interesting.
So that is why it's named after him. The lie
The one I was most confident in was
is the one you were most confident in. Those facts are all correct, but it's Phil Jackson who has the most conference finals appearances as a head coach.
That makes sense.
Phil has 14 appearances as a conference finals.
With the Bulls and everything.
Between the Bulls and the Lakers, it is Phil Jackson who has had the most success getting to and winning the conference finals as well.
Okay. Well done. Well done. Damn, I was so confident in that one. So explain to me real quick, how do the Celtics only have 9 conference titles when they have 17 championships?
I believe it's because of the way that the conference finals came around. Because
so it's the structure of the playoffs.
It's the structure of the playoffs. That's exactly right.
So it's a technicality.
Yes. So I know that the 7 games was not implemented until 1957. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff here with the 2 conferences. Like I said, even the Bucks being in the West.
Yeah,
the lot of conference realignment and the way that the playoffs have played out over the years.
All
but
right.
That is where it's at now.
So you got me with semantics, you bastard. Final place we're going here. It's Thursday. That means it is time to take our weekly trip to the Casino of Clayton in this week's Bet Brains. Clayton, what do we got this weekend?
Well, before we go into this week's bets, we got to go into last week's real quick. Last week, we had Phoenix at Dallas. I had Dorian Finney-Smith, Davis Bertans, and Maxi Kleber going over 10.5 3-pointers made at plus 300 odds. You really liked this one. You put $75 on it. Dorian Finney-Smith goes 1 for 3. Bertans goes 0 for 1. Kleber goes 3 for 5. They made 4. Big loss on this one.
Yeah.
But didn't end up mattering because Dallas won the series. Okay.
Doesn't help me.
Okay, and then I had Boston at Milwaukee. I had the Celtics making more free throws than the Bucks. You were washy on this one. You put $50 on it, plus 275 odds. It got close, actually. Boston went 15 for 23 from the line. Interesting, because if they had just shot better, you actually would have won this bet because the Bucks go 16 of 18 from the line. It was just a poor shooting game for the Boston Celtics.
You corrupt croupier.
And it's funny because I specifically put make more as opposed to attempt more because Boston did attempt more in this game. Okay, and then the last one here, we had Memphis at Golden State. I had over 17.5 combined steals at plus 350 odds. You absolutely hated this one. You only put 20 alternates dollars down on it. Yeah, 11. Memphis had 8, Golden State had 3.
Yeah.
Didn't get close.
I don't know what's going on, but my luck tide has turned. I was on a heater in the casino and absolutely bombing in Duo Jam. And then I start picking up wins in Duo Jam and I'm bombing in the casino.
Well, you can always win it back today.
I know. This is sicko stuff because I fully am chasing the money now.
Okay, we got 3 brand new bets. We're starting fresh. First one here, Mavericks at Warriors on Friday. I've got Luka Doncic going over 6.5 free throws attempted at plus 200 odds. What do you think?
I think I love it. I'm very high on this bet. He already attempted more than that in game 1. And I think one of the big adjustments that Dallas is going to make going into this next game and moving forward is Luka getting into the paint more, getting on the block, because we saw some of the help defense. I think that he's going to try to attract that help a little bit more, draw defenses, have them collapse on him in the paint, and then he can make those incredible passes out to the open shooter. Put $100 on it.
Okay.
I feel good about this one.
I like that. Second one here, I've got the Heat at Celtics on Saturday. Same thing here, but with Jimmy Butler, but I've got him going under 8.5 free throws attempted. Can the Celtics stop Jimmy Butler from getting to the line in Boston?
Tough. I am not super confident in it. I mean, he attempted 72 free throws in game 1.
Yeah.
This is what he does. He is so good. He's been one of the most incredible players in the playoffs so far. And he does it through aggression. Don't love it, but I'm chasing the money here, Clayton. Put $50 on this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna trust that Boston tries to clean up their defense a bit.
Okay, very nice. And the last one here. I love this bet. I don't know if you're going to as much. I got the home teams winning out through Sunday. So I got the home teams going 4-0 through Sunday at plus 380 odds. What do you think? Can the home teams win each of these games?
I love the bet just for the potential of this coming true. While I don't necessarily want it to be true, I would love to see things get interesting. Maybe a road team take home court, then the other road team take it back. I would love to see some splits happening here. But I'm going to put $50 on this one because there is part of me that wants this to happen, because that would mean that we would at least get game 6 in both conference finals,
right,
where I would love 2 game 7s. But I want these series to last a little while. So as much as I want the split, give it to me. Let's put $50 on it.
Great.
All right. Well, we will check back next week to see if I can somehow make some of my fortune back that I've been losing in the casino. Thank you so much for setting those lines.
No problem.
That is going to be today's episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Remember to hit subscribe on YouTube, podcasts, rate, review, like, comment, all of that stuff. It really, really does go a long way in helping us out. I'm going to change gears a little bit here at the end in terms of our final song here. Not really... Definitely not even really. Definitely not punk or hardcore. Taking a hard left here. Kind of funk. It's funk, but it is punk in spirit, because this is by an artist named William Onyeabor, who was a dude in Nigeria in the 70s who just built his own music studio and wrote songs and made records by himself, recorded every single instrument, wrote every single part. The only thing on the recordings that isn't him is the backing vocals, where he got a few women to come in and sing some backup vocals for him. Everything else is this one dude. He just kind of did it for fun, wasn't like a big thing. And then years later, he stopped in like the mid 80s because he became a born again Christian and like just dropped music, wouldn't even talk about it. And a bunch of artists started discovering his music and getting heavily influenced by it. One of them was David Byrne of the Talking Heads. Yeah. Got a hold of him and was like, please come back and play music. The world needs to see your music. This is so good. And he just said, nope, that part of me's done, not happening. And so David Byrne and his friends put a band together to tour, and they played festivals and stuff playing William Onyeabor songs. In 2014, William Onyeabor made his first ever radio broadcast debut on BBC, and told them that he wanted to make music to help change the world and make the world a better place, and that he was going to be working on new material and that he was going to write music again and release it. And unfortunately, a few years later, he died. He died in 2017, and so music was never released. We haven't heard anything yet. Yeah. But one of my favorite artists, I absolutely love this guy. It's a dream. It's any musician knows, part of you kind of wishes that you could just jam with yourself. Yeah. And that's exactly what he's doing in here. And so the song is Better Change Your Mind off of his 1978 Atomic Bomb LP, my favorite album of his. And it was originally released on Will Films Records, which was his record label, because he was independent, DIY as fuck, through and through. So it's just a feel-good song with a great message.
Love the spirit behind it.
Exactly. Love everything about it. I hope you all enjoy it. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks.
America, do you ever think this world is yours? And you, Russia, yeah, do you ever think this world is yours? You, China, do you ever think this world is yours? And you, Cuba, yeah, do you ever think this world is yours? Canada, do you ever think this world is yours? And you, Britain, yeah, do you ever think this world is yours? If you're thinking so, my friends, better change your mind. If you're thinking so, my friends, better change your mind. Because there's no the one except God who owns this world. Because there's no other one